OBS is
It has nothing to do with the Harbor Freight battery, guys. Let it go. Leave Harbor Freight alone.
No, it's OBS. OBS is overloaded.
Yeah.
I don't know why OBS is overloaded. We were running literally 2 programs.
It's just running 2 BA of an account this time.
We're running BlueStacks in my camcorder. That is it. Why is OBS acting like this?
I don't know.
It's acting like I'm running 15 projects through it. Weird.
You are live-ish.
2 Bastellas, 1 cup.
Yeah.
Well, I hate when this happens to live streams.
I do too.
I cannot stand when I have, and so it's not an internet issue, period. It's not. My internet is going at 112 right now, so that's phenomenal. It's not BlueStacks being laggy. BlueStacks is way better than Nox. I'm having really good luck with that. Other than the battery issue, we should be perfect. YouTube should be fine. I mean, they're simply a receiver of what we're doing.
I understand if things go bad, if they break down, it happens.
I wonder
but when
if there's
something doesn't function the way that it's supposed to and designed and intended to, that's when I get frustrated. When it's got no excuse.
I wonder if there's another program out there like OBS that doesn't have the issues that OBS has, because I feel like I've been having issues with OBS.
Well, and this is what all the live streamers use too. That's what's ridiculous
Well,
about it.
A lot of them do, but I'm trying to knock out any of the problems we might have.
You know what the issue is? We're not on Twitch. That's what. You heard that, YouTube? We're not on Twitch.
All right, so let's go and let's do story time before we get a massive crash. Everyone's gonna have to probably they're gonna have to refresh. They're gonna have to refresh their thing.
We're gonna give you a second. Hit refresh. You're not gonna want to miss this one.
Okay, so we've been doing a lot of firsts, first car wreck, first time doing this, first time doing that. This is going to come out of the first time I ever went skiing. It was the last time I ever went skiing. So a lot of people know from the live stream that I had a late friend. His name's Brandon. He was in the Army. He was a helicopter pilot for the Apaches, AH-64 longbows. But back then, he was a child. He was a teenager. I was 15. He is 15.
Just a baby.
And my friend Jared Ricks, he goes by Dilstradamus on the game, Dilstradamus, and Brandon. So Jared and Brandon were with me, and they were like, we're going to go down to Crested Butte to go skiing. Do you want to go? And I was like, well, I've never been.
For those of you curious, it is spelled Crested Butte, but whatever.
Yeah, Butte.
Butte. Yeah, okay. B-U-T-T-E. Yeah, it is Butte.
Crested
Sure.
Butte. And they're like, we're going to go skiing. Do you want to go? And I was like, well, I've never been ever. I haven't gone snowboarding. I've never gone skiing. I didn't have a dad growing up, so I didn't have anyone that ever took me anywhere to do that. My mom was always working full time, taking care of 3 kids on her own, so she didn't exactly take me skiing, So I said, sure, let's go, but I've never gone. They said, we got you. We're going to teach you. And I was like, okay, cool.
Take you under our collective wings.
So we go to Crested Butte, and we park, and we go in, and they get me my rental stuff, and we go outside, and they're like, let's get close to where it goes up and stuff before we put your skis on. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, because you're gonna have a hard time standing. And I'm like, well, okay, well, can't we, is there where do we practice? Or they're like, don't worry about it. We're gonna help you get to the top, and you'll learn on the way down. And I was like, okay.
Literally trial by fire.
Yeah, so I was like, okay. So I put my skis on, and I'm like, so they grab, each one of them grabs one side of me, the other one grabs the other side of me, and they're literally walking me to the chairlift that takes us to the top of the mountain. And I'm like, well,
the run.
Is there a bunny hill or what do we, and they're like, no, don't worry about it. We're good. So we get on the chair, and the guy that's loading us is like, yeah, is he good? They didn't know if I was drunk or if I just, I was a 15-year-old. I wasn't drunk, but he didn't know. He's like, he gonna be good. And they're like, we got him. And he's like, okay, all right, go have fun. And the chair comes around and scoops us up, and I'm like, whoa, and we're sitting. And when we get to the top, they're like, you're just gonna have to go. And I was like, well, I don't even know how to stand. You guys didn't teach me how to even stand. And so it just dumps us, and I'm just literally boom onto my face off of the chair at the top. And
good luck.
I know. And so that sucked. And then they get me up, and they're holding me, and people are looking well, what's going on? Why is he up here? And as I'm at the top, I'm like looking around, and there's this little sign, and I've never skied before, but it was the sign. It was like this way, and had a black diamond and another black diamond. So it had two black diamonds, and like this way, and I was like, well, how do I learn? And they're like, oh, just put your skis in if you want to slow down. They didn't say put them in and cant them. They just said put them in. And so they're like, have fun. We know you'll learn on the way down. And they took off. 15-year-old friends, man. I tell you what, they were,
Good luck.
awesome. So I trying to go a little bit, and I'm going a little bit, and I start to catch some speed because I'm like trying to just like balance. And all of a sudden, I'm getting a little bit of speed, so I would fall to my hip. I'd fall to my side. And then I'd get up, and then I'd go down a little bit, and I'd fall to my side, and I'd get up and go down a little bit and fall to my side. I wasn't really learning anything except for the fact
just
that
falling multiple times down the hill.
yeah, and people were just like flying by me, and they're like, "Hey, get off the road," because this is like a really steep.
If I could honk, I would.
I know. Well, I had two poles, and they never explained what the poles were for. So as I started going down, I started catching some more speed, and I was like, maybe these are for jabbing. So I was like trying to like ski and like jab to slow down, which doesn't exactly work very well. I didn't know, and so that didn't work. And so I went back to falling, and then I'm like, I'm bold. I'm gonna do this. They're already at the bottom. They're probably gonna be back at the top any second, and I don't want them to see me like struggling at the top. So I'm like going. I'm like, man,
my friends are gonna lap me.
And then all of a sudden I start catching some speed, and I'm like, dude, I'm doing it. Well, then I realize, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. Like, I'm going way too fast. I can't stop. I can't fall. If I fall, I'm going to break something, and I can't poke. I don't think. So I try. I'm like, and it like breaks. And I'm like, oh! So I've like got one in my hand that's broken and one that's not broken. I'm like, that doesn't work. And I'm just like going even faster and faster down this double black diamond. Well, there was a spot where it goes down steep, it kind of crosses, and then goes down steep. And where it crosses, there was a green that comes across. It's like the paths cross, and it was all
not dangerous.
It was all iced over, where people had been going and going and going across there, and then we're going down, and I hit that, and if this is my feet, I went, and here's my head, and I went right on my neck, and this hand was over here. It was like, like this, but behind me. Basically, it was like this, but behind me. My collarbone was broken. It was like, and I was just lying on the ground, with my hand like this behind me. And they like, people strolled up and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, does
something doesn't
does
feel
this
right.
look okay? And they're like, "We're gonna go get 911 or whatever." So they go down the mountain, and they get a patrol person, and the person from patrol gets notified. They go from up top, they ski down to me. And they have this board. It's a
stretcher.
Yeah, it's like a stretcher. It's like a 5-foot board. I'm 6 foot tall. So I'm like 6 foot tall. It's a 5-foot board. And I'm thinking, well, they're going to drag me down. My feet are going to be exposed, but that's fine. I'm hurting, but I don't care about my feet. And they put me on the board. They slide it under me, and they go all the way to the bottom of my feet to my shoulders, leaving my head not on the board. And like my collarbone's broken. I'm like dizzy. I've got like a concussion. And so they start going down to drag me, and my head's like all the way down the mountain. So they've like concussed me even more through just trying to get me off the mountain. We get to the bottom, and the guy's like, "I gotta go back up to the top. I'm the guy that's at the top." So he like dumps me and leaves. And some lady comes out of the Crested Butte facility and basically says, "Come follow me." And I'm just like,
lodge, yes.
And they're like, and my friends are they come down. They're like, "Oh, dude, that was you. We heard. That's crazy. We think we saw you trash yourself when we were going up. We're sorry." Yeah.
Sorry we laughed so hard at you.
So they come down and they hang out with her, and she's not like a nurse or anything. And she's like, all I have are these aspirin or these Tylenol. There was 2 Tylenol in a little thing. And it's all, and I was like, okay. She's like, "That's $10. And I'm like, $10? I don't have $10.
For 2 Tylenol?
And she's like, "Oh, fine, whatever. You can have them." And she was trying to charge me $10. I was like, concussion, messed up. And I looked at it when I went to open it. It says not for resale. They were samples of Tylenol. She was trying to sell me a sample Tylenol for $10 freaking. So anyway, I opened
He's
it.
delirious. He doesn't know better.
I take the Tylenol. And I'm like, okay, so that's gonna help. And I'm like, I need to go home. And she goes, yeah, you need to go home. So my friends are there now, and I'm like, I gotta go home. And they're like, we just got here. That's our first run. And they're like, would you be pissed if we went on like another run, like just one more run? You take your time, turn in your equipment, go sit in the truck, and then we'll be back, after we do this next run, and then we can leave. And I was like, whatever. It's a collarbone. Nothing can be done about it. Just hurry up.
I'll just lay here being miserable.
So this was 10 a.m. So this is 10 a.m. So I go to the truck, I unlock it, they give me the keys. I get in there and I'm like, oh, just sitting in the truck like, this sucks. And I fall asleep. Now, I had a concussion. So first off, you shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't fall asleep. And and I had a broken collarbone and needed to go home. And I wake up over 4 hours later.
Ooh.
Yeah. Severely hurting. I had rolled over onto my broken collarbone. It was like crunching. I'm like, oh, and they're still not back. And I'm like, no. Well,
that was one long run.
So I sit there and I'm like, I can't find them. I'm just gonna have to sit here and suffer. Well, about 3 o'clock, about an hour later, so 5 hours after my injury, they come back and they're like, hey man, we popped in, we saw you were asleep, we figured you're good. So we went back to the mountain and we went for some more. And so it was like 5 hours later, severe pain, and they left me like concussed in the truck, totally whatever. That's my first experience skiing. And I was like, you know what? I am never going skiing again. And you know what? I have yet to ever go skiing ever again. Now, I have gone snowboarding, and I love snowboarding, and easy peasy. And I had someone actually show me how to snowboard, and so I did it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, this is easy.
Actual lessons really help out no matter which one you do.
You have what's called an edge, and you use that edge. So you can slow you can hang your back edge and just go slow if you want. So anyway, that was the very first time I ever went skiing. It was a terrible experience. Broke my collarbone. I've never been right ever since.
Not that I'm that kind of jerk, but there would be a small part in the back of my mind going, they're going to leave you here to rot in the truck or whatever. Just leave them. You got the keys. You got the truck. Get the heck out of there.
I've been like driving all, but I can't believe she almost charged me $10 for some sample Tylenol. Like,
for non-resellable
what kind
Tylenol,
of crap is that? Well, anyway, thanks for letting us jump into your account. I apologize for the audio battery issue. We're going to need to talk about your battery selection.
That'll be taken care of on the way home.
And then I'm going to have to see if OBS has an update or what, because it crashed twice today, which is not okay.
Crashed hard.
Yep, crashed twice today, which is not okay. But I was glad it came back up enough that we could do the live stream, because that was important
it's saying
for story
top
time.
And bottom, but so far somebody asked for an update.
It's because
none of that there, but
it's because chat died and I'd have to refresh it. Okay. So anyway, it's all good. We're leaving anyway. So carry us out.
Sorry, we're missing all your gold comments there, but thanks for coming by. This was Sure Shot,
and this is Warrior. Keep your gaming on. Warrior and Sure Shot out.